we have reached the pinnacle of like storytelling awesomeness, like everything. We know everything, bro. Well, there's Oda threw out more lore at us. You know, he's always giving us more lore. You know, we in the end game of One Piece, but like he's throwing more bones at us, more things to chew on. But my God, man, like I think we're done with the flashback. I think the flashback's over. I'm pretty sure the next chapter we're going into the fight with Emu. We know how to kick Emu's ass. We know how to damage Emu. We know how to take out the Holy Knights. Like these Holy Knights are not gonna stand a chance after this. It's time to take the fight to the Holy Knights. But before we can do that, we got to talk about these two chapters. And oh my God, what fun we had. And a lot of emotional. There's a lot of love and some thunder. If you know the joke, you know the joke.
Searching for One Piece, the treasure that would make their dreams come true.
Yo!
Dreaming. Don't give it up, Luffy. Don't give it up, Zolo. Don't give it up, Nami. Don't give it up.
Here's how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line. There's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing. I'll be king of the pirates. I'm gonna be king.
His name is Luffy.
That's Monkey D. Luffy.
King of the pirates. He's made of rubber.
How did that happen?
Yo ho ho, he took a bite of gum gum. His name's Zolo, he's just like a samurai and a Lady. Nami's not shy. Usopp's doing that marksman thing. Sanji's cooking, Chopper's doctoring.
Set sail for One Piece. It's the name of the treasure in the Grand Line. Set sail for One Piece.
Hey guys, welcome back to Everything Anime Podcast. I'm your host Shinry here at the Everything Anime Podcast. I'm from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, and everything on the top of it. Talking about today's videos on the latest two chapters of One Piece. It went on a little bit of a break. It went on a little bit of a hiatus, but it was worth it because this chapter totally pays off. These two chapters, maybe three. I've been forgetting my numbers lately. I've been kind of like, just jumping around or reviewing. I'm reading Shaman King Volume 4, getting that video ready. I did Black Myth Con for Christmas. I kind of rushed that Yu-Gi-Oh video talking about Joey Wheeler, which is a video I had planned to do for a long time, but I kind of rushed it because I want to have something out for New Year's, because a lot of my videos are behind. I had planned to do, there's two video game reviews that I had planned to do on Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they got pushed back now, I think, to like my birthday, March 8th. I might drop one on Valentine's Day, depending on how fast I finish it. It all depends. Like, there's a lot going on, but there's plenty of time to Valentine's Day, so that game review could come out. I want it to be a special day. Valentine's Day is kind of special day, so might drop that then. Anyways, that has something to do with this video. Just kind of like some updates about what's going on lately that I want to talk about and that I've been doing. So anyways, let's talk about the latest chapters of One Piece. So, 14 years ago in the past, Shanks learned about the son of Goldie Roger. He was a part of Goldie Roger's crew, and obviously, he would have told his first mates, Scalper, Gabin, and Rayleigh about his son. They're his right and left hand, Zoro Sanji, a.k.a. Luffy. He would have told him about it. So Shanks knew that Portuguese Ace was the son of Goldie Roger. Maybe, and I'm pretty sure he would have knew the name, of course. And that makes it even cooler because we know that at one point Shanks and Ace had met up because Ace wanted to meet the pirate that inspired Luffy so much. And it's kind of awesome because Shanks got to meet the son of the pirate that he saw as a father figure. It's just, love the full circle. Love the full circle Oda is drawing. It's fucking amazing. And as we thought, Gorp respected Roger because he not only kept the secret, which we know because he accepted Ace as his grandson. Just what Luffy is his biological grandson, but he accepted Ace as his grandson. He accepted Ace as Luffy's brother, So I really love that. I love that, Gorp really was fucking with Roger. He was an enemy of the world government, but Gorp still had that respect for Roger. Even in the end, him and Roger teamed up to take down Rocks. But I think even then, Gorp had some kind of respect for Rocks as well because he was like, oh, this guy wants us to save him. We got to stop him. So, love Gorp. Gorp is an amazing character. He's, right now he's been captured by Blackbeard, but I don't think Gorp's going to die. Gorp has had too much significance to die at this point. And especially knowing his connection to the Davy clan and what happened with Blackbeard and his mother Ares, I think Gorp let himself get captured for several reasons. Anyways, I want, and you know, Shanks goes on to say that since he sees himself as Roger's son, he sees Roger's actual son, Ace, as his brother. Again, you know, he's like a big brother to, if he's a big brother to Ace, he's a big brother to Luffy, and we know Luffy looks up to Shanks. I mean, oh, bro, I'm gushing at how exciting and creative these chapters are. It really makes me excited to get back on writing this week. Yeah, if you guys don't know, I'm an author of my series. I usually do a little plug at the end about my books and stuff like that. Check them out on Amazon. But you know, I took a hiatus of writing, but like this, reading like this and the love of passion that comes to these stories really makes me want to get back into writing. Which, speaking of, another side tangent, I just found out Soul Eater's anime ending is not the canon manga ending, just like Shaman King. So now I gotta get all the the Soul Eater manga and start reading that too. So after we finish Shaman King, we're hopping into Soul Eater. I know I said Rurouni Kenshin, I know I said Jujutsu Kaisen. We're gonna jump into Soul Eater after that. Maybe we'll do them side by side. I'll see if I can find the Soul Eater manga online. I'm pretty sure I could. Anyways, I was wondering if we'd soon learn how Buggy the Clown joined the Roger Pirates, because Shanks was found in a chest. We don't know how Buggy the Clown was found, but Scopper Gavin says that they all saw Shanks and Buggy the Clown as their kids. They saw them as their children, their family. But we don't know how Buggy the Clown joined the crew. We just know Buggy the Clown was on the crew the same time as Shanks was, which is fucking incredible. I mean, not the exact same time. Shanks was found in the chest. We don't know if Buggy the Clown was found in the chest or Buggy the Clown was born on that ship. We don't know nothing about Buggy the Clown's past. But we know Buggy's been relevant this entire time. You know, I can't wait to see where Buggy the Clown ends up at the end of the story. At the same time as when Loki came upon King Harold being killed by the soldiers, and he had asked... unbeknownst to us, he had asked Loki to kill him. Loki, when we saw the flashback, walked in on his father being stabbed by all those guards, and we thought, the guards killed his father, and they had framed, Loki, but, again, that was a subversion of expectations. It was a red herring. Oda's trying to throw at us to throw us off the scent of the true story. But we first learned that they failed to kill King Harold, as one of his men tried to stab King Harold, because King Harold told the men to stab him. Before they could do it, King Harold killed him. Not because he wanted to, it was his body reacting, because again, his body is being forced by Emu. It's being controlled by, that demonic scar he has on his left arm. And so, even before his mind, even before his body could react, his mental, even before he could make the mental command to stop himself, his body had already reacted. And I was like, damn, that is crazy. Which, again, subverts the expectation that, the guards killed his father, how it made it look. They probably didn't stab him, but they didn't kill him, because I think, as a whole night, their wounds heal, and you need Conqueror's Hockey to cancel out Emu's Hockey, the demonic hockey and all that. Because without that, the wounds, them damage ain't gonna do nothing. Well, that is apparently only one guard attacked at a time, but he knew what would happen if he didn't kill himself or let himself be killed. He's like, I'm going to be controlled by Emu. If you guys don't kill me, if Loki doesn't kill me, if someone doesn't stop me, Emu's going to take control of my body. He's going to have the power to control these giant shipwrights, apparently, that are giants that are shipwrights. And, whatever, I forgot what they were called, but he's going to have an army, and then plus, he can control Elbaf through me and stuff like that. And so at the time he ordered them to come. Oh yeah. So what happened is he ordered them to attack them, but they attacked one by one. So this was before Loki opened the door, and he realized if they attack one by one, my body's gonna react and it's gonna defend itself. He's like, all of you attack me now before Loki opens the door, before Loki tries to stop you. All of you kill me now. So it does still happen what Loki saw, that all those guards stabbed him. But again, like I said, it was a red herring, and I like that twist. But because, again, he was immortal, it didn't work. And funnily enough, King Harold, Jarrell, the one with the sword stabbed in his head, and Loki left this out that, his father, you didn't just kill your father. He was hiding this giant secret that your father was immortal and he's being possessed by Emu and he asked you to kill him. So this was, a good secret Loki that she was hiding, And King Harold blasted back all those men, even though they all stabbed him, and that's what Loki saw. King Harold was still strong enough to blast them all backwards. He's like, this ain't enough to kill me. Y'all are not strong enough to stop me. Again, they don't possess Conqueror's Haki to be able to cancel it out. So I was like, Loki didn't kill his father. I mean, obviously we know that, but that's in my notes. You know, Loki didn't actually kill his father. Or, well, in the end, by the end of this chapter, he does, and we know why. And, I mean, we already know why based off the last chapter, because Emu was trying to control King Harold, and King Harold was trying to, like, stop himself. He was like, before I become a demon, before I become possessed, you know, stop me. I should listen to Blackbeard. I should listen to Rock. I should listen to my best friend. And then it's confirmed. Shanks let his arm get bitten off because he had the left hand of the Covenant. This is where it's confirmed. Although I think I theorized it in my previous One Piece video, Shanks shows that he had that mark on his left arm. He's talking to Scopper Gavin in the bag because there's two things going on at once. You know, Loki just ran into his father being possessed by Emu and attacking these guards and telling him to kill himself. And then Shanks and Gavin, you know, they big chilling it on Elbaf having a conversation. They meeting up again after all these years. And also, he and King Harold freely talked once they were like out of Emu's range of power, and that's when Shanks was like, "Oh, you're right. You did see me before. You know, you met me with Goldie Roger and all the rest of them." So I do like that King Harold met, you know, the Roger Pirates, and of course, you know, the Roger Pirates would have probably came to Elbaf at some point. But that's what he had said. That's what he meant when he had saw Shanks with Shamrocks. He was like, "Hey, don't I know you?" And Shanks don't pretend like, "Oh, you're the scum of the earth. Don't pretend like you know me. Don't pretend like you ever saw me, you piece of scum." And, you know, Shanks isn't really like that. We already know that deep down because Shanks grew up with the Roger Pirates, and Shanks isn't like that at all. But Shanks is explaining, like, you know, if we're out of the range of Emu's power, he can't control me, he can't hear me, he can't know what we're talking about. As long as I have the scar, Emu can't turn me into a demon, but, like, he can still, like, you know where I'm at, and I can be under his influence. Also, we finally learned what an abyss means, which Emu had brought up when he told, like, you know, King Harold, go back to Elbaf and make it an abyss. And King Harold was like, "Oh, yeah, an abyss. Yeah, girl, whatever you say, I'll do that. As long as you let giants join the world government, yeah, I'll do whatever you say." Well, an abyss means that they can travel long distances, which we have seen Shamrocks and Elders do on Elbaf and Egghead Island. That's how they make them demonic marks, and they just teleport there. That's an abyss, making them, like, be able to teleport there. So basically, you know, what Emu wanted King Harold to do with Elbaf, he's like, "Hey, make some demonic marks there, so anytime I want to go back and forth to Elbaf, you know, I'm going to have access to. You got to open up a portal for me to go back and forth, you know, otherwise I got to travel a long way. I got to take a ship and cross the ocean and all that shit." But in exchange for all that power, Emu basically is like, "I can control you," and basically that's what happened to the girl that's supposedly Brooke's daughter. What was her name? Gunko? Before she had got taken over, we had saw, like, her holding the hand of her father. He was saying, "Yo, ho, 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 ho," and he had an afro, obviously implying that that's Brooke, which we never heard anything about Brooke's backstory having anything to do with the daughter. We know that he has to do with Laboon. But the fact that Brooke doesn't recognize his daughter, I mean, I guess because she'd be grown up by now, and he's been a pirate for all these years. I mean, you know, Usopp's dad went and became a pirate, so it's not too, like, unknown. And plus, he'd probably think his daughter's dead by now because Brooke is, like, over 90 years old. He died at one point, and, you know, ate the soul fruit. So Brooke wouldn't expect his daughter to be young, you know, immortal and possessed by demons. But, like, if he interacts with her again, you know, maybe by the end of this chapter, they'll be reunited. Then we'll see a backstory between Brooke and his daughter. I can see that happening. Shanks and Scopper were discussing this when the King Harold incident happened. They felt the Haki all around the world. I mean, all around Elbaf coming from Emu, and they were like, "Hey," Shanks is like, "Hey, we got to go stop him. Something's happening to King Harold. I know this power. I'm aware of it." Meanwhile, back with Loki, he was holding his own against his father and most of the guards, along with Chief Jarrell, because again, Chief Jarrell showed up. But the guards outside the room, who weren't coming about King Harold, had no idea what was happening and assumed that Loki was causing all the trouble. So they just walk in there, and Jarrell and Loki are trying to hold off King Harold, and the guards that weren't told to kill King Harold by his command, they're just like, "Loki, why are you trying to kill the king? What's going on here?" You know, they're just blaming Loki because Loki's known to, like, supposedly kill his mother. Not Ares. What was that lady's name? Well, we don't even care about her, but he supposedly killed his mother. You know, he's a demon or whatever, you know, because she got sick when she had him or whatever. And, you know, he burned that village because they killed Ida, who he actually saw as his mother and was the real love of King Harold, King Harold's real love and all that. So they just had this like thought that Loki's a monster and that's what he does. He causes chaos and he came to kill his father and probably take the throne by force, unbeknownst to them that he's actually trying to help his father. And King Harold, with the last of his mind, begged Loki and Jarrell to reveal the truth to everybody. He's like, I should have listened to Rox. And he's like, I endangered all of Elbath with my dream of giants joining the world government and selling my soul to Emu. So this is where he realizes, like, Rox was right. I should listen to Rox. Rox warned me, don't listen to the world government. Don't listen to Emu. Come with me. Help me. Go fight against the world. If you team up with me, no one can stop us, you know. And Rox was right. Rox wouldn't have died. Well, he technically didn't die. He got killed by the Holy Knights. Well, he didn't die because of Emu. He didn't die because of Goldie Roger and Gorp. He got killed by the Holy Knights by the command of Emu because Emu couldn't control him anymore. But yeah, if King Harold was there, they would all, plus Big Mom, Kaido, and Rox, and Gorp, and who the fuck else was there? That barrage thing on Emu would have been destroyed. Obliterated, bitch. He would have been obliterated. Harold believes the only way he could be stopped is if Loki ate the secret devil fruit that they were hiding, and I was curious about what this is. He was like, Loki, if you eat that devil fruit, you can stop me. And again, this devil fruit, Emu's later going to say is like a national treasure. It's something that Emu wants, Emu needs. He's like, if I eat that, I'll be unstoppable. So Emu, with all the power he's got already, and he's like, I ain't even at my max power. If I eat this devil fruit, whatever this national treasure is, if I eat that, I will be unstoppable. I'll be a god among gods. His father begged and cried for his son to do this, and how could you not honor your father in this situation? But this put a lot on a child who's already been through a lot. Like, he's begging Loki to kill him. He's like, Loki, please stop me. Please, please. I'm so sorry but if you don't stop me, then, I'm going to kill everybody. I'm going to turn Elbath into, like, we're going to become slaves to this demon and cause havoc and chaos, and people will fear us. And again, Loki, who at birth was cursed down to the underworld by his mother because she saw him as a monster, who was seen as, like, the person that killed his mother because, like, he gave her, like, an illness or she got sick when he was born. And, just blamed for everything, killing this, killing that, being forced by his uncle to, like, eat garbage and shit like that. Loki had the worst life. But he was loved by his mother, his stepmother, Ida, loved by his father, King Harold, which we learned at the very end. And basically all his life, his father loved him. But again, Loki had went through a lot, and now you're being asked to kill your father. It's a lot to take on. But he does have to hurry because we're running out of time. King Harold went berserk under the control of Emu and began killing everyone to hide the truth. Emu was like, hey, fuck this shit. You taking too long. I'm fully taking over your mind like I did to Blackbeard. But Rox, he kind of puts up a fight though. Like King Harold's being possessed just like Rox was, but he has enough of, like, a little bit of mind control to still talk to his son and be like, hey, Loki, hurry, get that fruit. Get it and eat it before I do. Don't let Emu get his hands on it. And so the race began. Emu and Loki raced their devil fruit, and it's the one devil fruit that Emu wants. Emu apparently doesn't have a devil fruit, or maybe he does have a devil fruit. I'm not sure. Or maybe he can eat multiple, Blackbeard can for whatever reason. We don't know why Blackbeard can eat 2 devil fruits. Although I think Blackbeard ate 3. Watch my Blackbeard. It's Cerberus video again. We already doing demons, so it ain't too far-fetched to believe that there's a Cerberus out there. It ain't too far-fetched at all to believe that Blackbeard could be a Cerberus at this point. But I was curious about what this devil fruit is, and I will tell you now, we do not learn what that devil fruit is at all in these chapters. I think we're going to learn it in the middle of the fight, but we do not learn what devil fruit Loki ate. And we then learned it wasn't Loki who stabbed Jarrell with a blade through his head, but it was King Harold possessed by Emu. And I was like, oh my god, I love this arc and its answers, because we believed that Loki had stabbed the Zord in Jarrell's head. And maybe Jarrell was playing up the narrative that, like, we can't let the truth be known that King Harold got possessed by demons and stuff like that, because again, they're trying to live up to, like, this dream that, King Harold had, that he wanted peace for the giants and no longer to be warriors and things like that, except for, the 100 pirates of Dorian Broggy. They still out there being pirates and shit. And I do love that we can say Dorian Broggy. I do love that. I love that this sound confirmed we can save them. But, he was like, maybe that's what he was doing. He was like, hey, we can't let the world know that King Harold stabbed me in the head, even though it wasn't him. He was being possessed. Loki, you got to take the fall. You've already been taking the fall, and maybe Loki willingly did it, especially by the end of the chapter. Maybe Loki willingly did choose to take the fall. Now, since Loki was racing to find the devil fruit, King Jarrell, he got stabbed in the head by King Harold possessed by Emu. He wasn't able to keep taking on King Harold, and he didn't die because his helmet was strong enough to absorb the blow of the blade, or keep the blade from cutting him through. But it did knock him out. It knocked him down. So King Harold slash Emu. We're gonna call it Emu because King Harold's currently possessed. So, if I say Emu, just know he's in possession of King Harold. Emu was chasing after Harold. The guards were trying to stop him. The guards were trying to get in the way. But again, Emu was just blasting them all backwards because they ants to him. And that's when Shanks and Gavin show up and they stop him, basically give him pause. And of course, Emu would have learned then that Shanks betrayed him, because we know that Shanks goes on to become a pirate. One of the 4 emperors of the sea at the time, now 5 emperors. And I love it. I love that Shanks sees what would have happened to him. Shanks is oh, this would have been me if I had signed that divine covenant. If I had formed an abyss with King Harold. If I don't let my arm get bitten off, saving Luffy or losing this mark somehow. Oh yeah, that's gonna be me one day. If I ever fall among Emu's power, Emu will possess me. And then Loki did find the secret devil fruit, but someone tried to stop him before he could eat it. They throw this hammer at him, and I wondered if it'd be Harjuan. I was wondering if it'd be his brother. Maybe that's his brother, mistakes that Loki killed his father. But that's not what happens at all. In fact, I was a little bit confused when it first happened, but it makes sense a little bit later. Still not really, but makes sense a little bit later. And we won't have to wait too much longer, because as the chapter opens up, Loki is also wondering who threw that hammer. He's like, where does hammer come from? The devil fruit is in this treasure chest right in front of him, and he's like, who the fuck threw that hammer at me? But since this person doesn't immediately reveal himself, Loki again tries to go after the devil fruit, but he's thwarted by the hammer itself. That's right. The hammer, I think it's called Mjolnir, Ragnir. I think, to change the names a little bit, I think it's called Ragnir. It flings itself at Loki and it tries to stop him, because apparently it's guarding the devil fruit. That's been its job for centuries. And we learned that the hammer is sentient and has been stopping anyone from getting their hands on this devil fruit for like I said, centuries. Emu goes on so far to say as it's a national treasure that only he can possess. Which again, I'm like, okay, this has to be a legendary devil fruit. I'm like, what could a devil fruit be that Emu wants? This devil-like creature, this demon, this Lucifer of One Piece. What devil fruit power could he possibly want that would be on Elbaf? That's not in Wano. That's not apparently one of the ancient weapons. What could this thing be? Again, we don't get to learn it just yet. However, before he can reach Loki or the hammer, he's thwarted again by Shanks and Gavin, who are on their last legs. They're giving it their all. And I also love that we learned something here. Apparently, Goldie Roger and his pirates are familiar with the Holy Knights and have beat them several times in combat, as they came looking for Shanks. They were like, "Hey, you have a red-haired kid on your crew? Yeah, he looks like our leader, St. Garling's son that went missing." So they knew where Shanks was the entire time. They knew he was a part of Goldie Roger's crew. They had come after him. But Goldie Roger, to add to his fucking legendariness, well, Goldie Roger did learn this, fighting rocks with Gwarp. They, had to cancel out their Conqueror's hockey. But the fact that all his crew was whooping the Holy Knight's ass for years, the fact that they were whooping the Holy Knight's ass for years, pirates without devil fruits, Goldie Roger's crew is that bitch. They that bitch. You can't touch Goldie Roger. You can't. Meanwhile, while they were holding off King Harold / Emu, it was Loki who was fighting Thor's hammer. Well, I call it Thor's hammer because, again, it's basically Mjolnir, but it's Ragnir, to get this legendary devil fruit and to prove that he's worthy. Ironically, I'm surprised his brother Harjuan's name's not Thor, but then again, King Harold's name isn't Odin. And I have heard that Elbaf is basically modeled after what's that place called? I forgot where Odin and Thor live, but it's basically modeled after that. But we ain't going that far. I guess we're doing some Greek mythology, but every author throws her own mix and twist into the story. But I do like it. But the hammer was proving too much for even Loki's strength, and Scopper and Shanks were losing Emu fast. So, Loki gives all his strength at this hammer, and he eventually does damage it. And then it turns out, this hammer is not just sentient. It's either a cat that ate the hammer fruit, or a hammer that ate the cat fruit. And again, if you've seen One Piece, you know how weird this shit can happen, okay? You know that weird shit like this can happen all the time. Because a gun ate the dog fruit, if you remember way back at Alabasta. Again, it's One Piece world. You're going to love it if you're a One Piece fan. You ain't going to like it if you ain't a One Piece fan. And it finally acknowledges Loki's strength and allows him to eat the secret devil fruit, which I was hopefully we'd finally learn what it is. I was like, okay, Loki ate it. Loki's going through some kind of transformation in the shadows. It's a really cool panel. I was like, okay, but what is it? What is this national devil fruit that you've been hyping up? But despite these cool panels, we don't get to see what the devil fruit is. It's just teases. But whatever it is, it damages Emu and allows King Harold to take back control, even briefly. And Emu says, like, oh, you have the blood of the Supreme King. Blood of the Supreme King. Which, who is the Supreme King? Are you trying to say that Loki is your descendant? More lore, as I said. Over throwing more lore that's back to back to back to back. Loving it. However, the brief... Oh yeah, I've already talked about this. So, after King Harold gets control of his body for a little bit longer, he has one final heart-to-heart with his son before asking him to kill him. He thanks Loki for avenging Edith's death. Yes, King Harold knew that those villagers poisoned Edith, that they made her sick. But because it was Edith's dream to, just like King Harold, to, one day have giants reunite, live among the humans and be accepted into the world government and accepted into society, King Harold's letting it go. King Harold let a lot of stuff slide because he thought, he was doing right by the world. He was living him and Edith's dream. Again, he wanted Edith to marry him. But, he realized the errors of his ways now. But he gave Loki respect. He was like, I respect you for avenging Edith's death. You killed those people. I ain't saying that's a good thing, but you did it for your mother. You did it for the right reasons. And it showed me that you loved her. It showed me that you're capable of love. I really fucking love that so much because even I was happy when Loki did it to those villagers. I love that Edith accepted him as her son, whether it was biological or not. I love that she wanted him and Harjun to be brothers. I love that Loki loved her back. It's so fucking cute, man. It's so fucking beautiful. And I love that his father knows about it. I love that. I love that Loki didn't have to explain it to his father. I love that his father just knows. But the final thing King Harold says to his son is that he loves him. That he's always loved him. Oh my God. The feels, guys. I really loved it. And then Loki delivers the final blow. And despite we still don't know what this devil fruit power is, it was strong enough to kill his father and protect the future of Elbath. Emu does not have control of his father. He cannot control the Galilea. That's the name of the shipwright. Giant crew of shipwrights. And it's time to take the fight back to the Holy Knights. I think, theory, for the next chapter, we're going back to the fight. We're going to take back Dog Game Board. We're going to cancel out their forms and, get them back. Because we got Joy Boy on our side. We got Loki on our side. Zoro has Conqueror's Hockey. Sanji potentially has Conqueror's Hockey. We got Harjun. We got Jarrell. We're going to take the fight back. And Brooke might even meet his daughter again. There are so many theories that can happen from here. But I know we're about to whoop Emu's ass. I know Emu's about to be shaking scared in his castle that we coming for his ass, Where we're going after Elbath, I don't know. But I like that Brooke's going to meet his daughter again. I like that Dog and Bori are not going to be possessed by Emu for a long time. And I like that Loki might become the king of Elbath and marry Otahime, Princess Orihime. Oh, no, Otahime was the mother. Princess Shirahoshi was the giant mermaid princess. I like that him and, Shirahoshi's actually going to get married. The art that, again, we made way back on Fishman Island, that seemed like it was random when Vanderdecken the Six was after her. Oda is a master of full circle. Again, it's making me excited to get back into writing myself. Anyways, what did you guys think of these chapters? What are your guys' theories about what's going to happen in One Piece? When do you think we're going to get to the fight with Odin? Emu. When do you think we're going to learn about Buggy the Clown's backstory? How much longer do you think One Piece is going to go on? So many questions, but I'm enjoying it. I'm having a great time. I really hope I live to the end of One Piece. I know I will. I don't think it's going to go on for I don't think One Piece is going to go on for 10 years, but I do think it's going to go on for a little bit longer, about 3 to 5 years. But Oda, take your time. Just like the guy with Shaman King did. He went on a break. He came back, and I can't wait to experience how Shaman King ends. Just like Soul Eater, I can't wait to see what the original ending of Soul Eater was. I've seen the anime ending, but I didn't know that there was a manga ending that's different. So I'm very, very excited. Anyways, that's all for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces the choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are 2. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado the Legendary Konjuis Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red will Rain Over Your House. Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy, or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school, because of course he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love Be Caged right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So, if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.